Rebel Yell Podcast, Trib Live High School Sports Network, wrapping up championship weekend in the WPIAL basketball playoffs. Our get-together presented, as have been our coverage of the championships and the playoffs, our good friends at Edgar Snyder and Associates. Go local, go with Edgar, helping injured people since 1982. Check them out, edgarsnyder.com. You know, one of the things we did our sort of our semifinal recap podcast, looking ahead to the 12 championship games. And it's a fact that, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people, unless you're a fan of that particular school, it don't get a whole lot very excited when you see the same teams in the championships. Now, that's a tremendous credit to those programs because that is not easy to do. But there's nothing like, as the great Tim O'Malley used to say, fresh blood, new blood in the championship scenario. We had two first-time winners ever, not in 10 years, not in 30 years, ever. The Knock Knights boys basketball team won their first WPIAL championship, and the Canon-McMillan girls get it done, winning the 6A championship, collecting their first ever WPIAL championship. And the man who engineered it all, who deserves 1,000% of the credit, John Fontana, the head coach of the Big Macs, joining us. John, congratulations. You know, when you talk to old-time Steeler fans, 6 championships, and you ask them, you know, what was your favorite? They seem to always gravitate toward that first one back in 1974. For years to come, they will talk about this championship at Canon-McMillan.
You know, it was a great feeling. The community was behind us. I don't know if you were there yesterday.
I was not.
We sold 500 pregame tickets for the game. And there had to be 1,500 to 2,000 fans there. When I looked up, you know, it was good for the community. It was good for the school. It was outstanding for our team. It was just something I think they'll always remember.
Yeah, there's a lot of games, whether they're home games, whether they're road games, especially early on. And this isn't a girls thing. You could say it for the boys as well, where, you know, you can hear all the plays being screamed out because, you know, it's almost like family-only members in the crowd. But I remember talking to you last year, and you said how excited this community was over this team that just came up short a year ago. And for them to get to the championship and then win it all, I'm sure that there was tremendous excitement. Does that, you know, I don't know how you are on a regular basis before a game, if you get nervous, if you get the butterflies. But when you look around and sort of soak that environment in, does it amp up those butterflies?
I think I had more butterflies in regular season games. I just felt like we were really prepared. And I looked around and I saw the team. You know, usually they have a lot of butterflies during the regular season. And they were ready to play. You know, they let me know that they were ready, and, you know, they were excited. They weren't nervous, but they were excited. So it reacted differently, because there's times before a game, like I'll say in a section, I'm up and I'm fired up, and, you know, and I can feel it. But yesterday I didn't. I felt comfortable and relaxed.
We'll talk about the championship victory over Norwin in the impressive start, especially by the Big Macs in a moment. I do want to sort of reflect and go back even further. You know, when you took over this program in 2024, they were coming off a rough season, to say the least. They only won 1 section game. I think you guys won 4 section games that first year, 2 years ago. But then it all started clicking, and you guys had that special season a year ago, trumped only by an even more special season here this year. And I think I may have asked you this last year, but when you took over, did you see the seeds of what has now become a a championship run at the time, or is it something that you thought, well, we could have something special here, but we'll have to wait and see?
Before I interviewed for the job, I looked at everybody who was returning. I watched their shots. I watched their rebounds, their assists, their turnovers.
Because you were familiar with the program.
Yeah, and I worked at USC at the time,
Right.
and they had 21 of their games, right? Because they had the best huddle program I've ever seen. So I was able to watch, and when I saw that, I saw some talented freshmen. I saw Lauren Barella and Madison Clare and Sam Miller and Olivia Ross, and I looked at that freshman class, and I thought to myself, first of all, why aren't they playing? And number two, that this is something that I could build around.
Okay.
So I knew there was talent there. It was just to get their belief system changed, to have them think differently. And, their belief system is so strong right now that it's unbelievable.
Was that something you had to polish? Most of the chisel, most of the hard work in that belief system was done with the success that you guys had when they were juniors last year. But did you have to sort of do a little polishing before the season even started this year, knowing that the roles had changed, that they were no longer going to sneak up on teams as this, funneling program that was struggling, that all of a sudden is starting to find itself, that they had the bullseye, that a lot of folks thought that, with everybody coming back from that team a year ago, that, this was the team to beat in Class 6A girls basketball. So was there some work on your end as far as that's concerned?
Absolutely. I mean, things changed this year, right? We were the hunted.
Yeah.
And, like I told the girls, that it's a long season. There's injuries, there's losing streaks. And I showed them this year I talked about last year's Norwin team and Upper St. Clair team for them, because they both played for the championship. And both of them had a 3-game losing streak last year. So, I told them that it's the next play, the next game, and understanding how important it is to stay motivated and focused, because all the times, how can I say this? Whenever you're playing, you don't always have success.
Right.
Right. And you're going to have some things that go wrong, and you have to understand that success is only momentary, right? It changes. As soon as the game's over, it's over.
You mentioned losing streaks, not the case this year. You guys did hit a little bit of a rut against some of the elite programs in the WPIAL midseason, losing, I think, 3 of 5 against Blackhawk, Baldwin, and Norwin. So no slouches there. But the great thing is no consecutive losses in this amazing season that right now, going into the state playoffs after your district run, sits at 21 wins and 4 losses. You guys get off to the good start. At that point, were you thinking, all right, we've sort of handled that adjustment of what we just talked about, being the hunted, let's giddy up and go?
And that's what it was yesterday. I mean, we just, like I said, they were excited, they were focused, and I wasn't shocked at all at the fast start.
Yeah, the one thing that I get may have surprised me, again, I'm not there every day, so you have a better gauge on it, is that we have seen very good teams get to the big house for the first time, and it's a bit of a struggle, whether it's the shooting background, whatever the case may be, and it takes them a little time to get going. Not the case for you guys. In fact, you guys acted like the been there, done that team, racing out a 6-point lead after the first quarter, 27-15 at the half. You mentioned the confidence, but still, until the game gets going, that aspect of it didn't surprise you at all?
We're built on defense, and I knew that they were going to bring the energy defensively. being there a few times with Upper St. Clair, I understood that it's sometimes you start off, slow
Right.
shooting, but we had an extra time to warm up. The Blackhawk game ended early, so we had 25 minutes to warm up, where usually you have 15.
Right.
And I think that might have helped us out somewhat, right? Being able to take 10 minutes extra shooting. But I like I said, I just felt really comfortable.
Yeah. Confident, comfortable. The team obviously felt the same way. They raced out to the lead. Was there any nervousness in the third quarter into the fourth quarter when the Knights made things a little interesting? I think pulling to within 6 at one point.
When you play Norwin, they never quit, right? We were up 17 at their place, and they got it back down to 4. We were up 6 at our place in the fourth quarter, and they ended up beating us. And once they make 1-3, then it comes to 2 and 3, and next thing you know, you have a 19-point lead, and it's down to 4 points. And I looked at the girls, and I just said, well, what did you think was going to happen, right? You're playing in a championship game. They're not going to roll over. They're going to fight back. We have the lead. Let's just take a deep breath and go out and play our game,
Yeah, I mean that could rattle you, but it didn't. You guys finished strong, end up winning 50-38. Just some of the stats that stuck out. You guys 15 second chance points to their 9. Fast break points 10-6. The rebounds, Norwin had 30, you guys 45. Big part of the game is the work on the glass, especially with Sam getting what I think 11 rebounds, if that's right. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
were you expecting that kind of I don't know, that advantage on the glass?
We're 5'10", 5'11", and 5'11". And those 3 girls are long and they can rebound. And then you have players like Sam Miller that can, she boxes out. Her vertical is as high as anyone else's. She always rebounds for us. And even Lauren Barella, I think, had 4 or 5 rebounds. So, no, I thought that was an advantage for us. And I told the team before the game that we're going to have to play great defense and we're going to have to end up with more rebounds to win the game.
Madison Clare leads the way on the score sheet, 15. She had also 15 in your semifinal victory over Seneca Valley. Just talk a little bit about her postseason and leading you in 2 of the 3 wins.
I believe Madison is the best player in 6A. She is a great scorer. Players have a knack for scoring, the great scorers do, and she's always getting fouled, and she's going to the foul line and making her shots. And she can score on all 3 levels. And she showed so much leadership in the playoffs that we were able to lean on her and let her take where we needed to go. Just a fabulous player.
Sam Miller, the 11 rebounds, 12 points. Lauren Barella, 10 points. She also led you in assists with 4. She also led you in steals with 4. A feisty game.
Yeah. Sam Miller, I was watching her warm up, and everything was going in. And she's a streaky shooter. Once that first one went in, the second one went in. She's as good as anybody then when she's shooting the ball, when she's hot. And Lauren to me is this playmaker, right? She gets the ball in her hands, and she can fast break with any of them. And once we're running like that, we're pretty hard to beat. She's a fabulous player. And then you also had Faye Saunders that rebounds, and she got in a little bit of foul trouble, and Brooke that rounded it out. All just played outstanding.
Yeah. Faye, let's give her credit. In the quarterfinal win, led you guys with 11 points in the win over Mount Lebanon that got you guys going. And it all culminates with a 50-38 victory over Norwin, first WPIAL championship. Now, what's the line of demarcation when we turn celebration into work, back to work for the PIAA state playoffs? What's the game plan there?
Well, we're going to have a scrimmage on Monday. We're going to scrimmage with Trinity, and we're going to go practice for 3 days. I let them know that success is temporary in sports, that, we have to go back to work. We have to stay focused, and we have to realize, the consequences of not staying focused. And I know that they want this season to continue to go. I know they want to make a run in the state playoffs. And for that to happen, we just got to continue to work hard. That would be my deal. I'll have to go out and make it happen.
Yeah.
But it won't be that hard with these kids.
Because of the maturity.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of times they talk about the WPIAL letdown, especially in basketball, when you have just an electric atmosphere of the Peterson Event Center, or back in the day, the Palumbo Center. And you go from that to back into a high school gym for a first-round state playoff game a week later. And it's tough. It's a tough adjustment. And a lot of times, because of the focus that you were just talking about, the champions have a tougher time, and the runners-up, and you experienced that a couple of times as an assistant coach. The runners-up, it's I think easier to focus because there's that letdown from the district championship, and it's like, okay, that's made us hungrier now for success in the state playoffs.
I don't think it's going to be easy, right? And I want them to carry that victory, right? I want them to keep it. I want them to keep it close to their heart, and I want them to continue to feel that way when they get on the court. And there could be a letdown, right? I'm aware of that. And the good thing I think we have going for us is we're playing at home.
Yes.
And we will have a large crowd there Friday night. So I think the girls will be motivated. And I also think they want to play well at home, because this will be the last time they'll play at home again. So, I have some concerns, but with this group, I just think they're mature.
That's two excellent points. It's almost like the crowd will be in carrying over the celebration, but if there is any sort of funk or letdown, they'll get loud enough to try to shake everybody back. And so that is a good situation for the Big Macs in the first round of the state playoffs. I know that's where your mind is now. As the season goes on, coaches are always looking ahead.
Right.
But and it doesn't have to be necessarily about that title victory over Norwin. But what stands out to you, whether it be a moment or just in general, from this magical season for Canon-McMillan girls basketball?
We had that rough part in the middle of the season, and we've won 10 in a row since then. And when we went to Norwin, no one gave us a chance. We were going there. They beat us at home.
Right.
And when we were on the court, the players looked at me and said, "We got this, coach. We have this." And I thought to myself, wow, that is confidence. And I knew I had something special then, right? Because usually a team will go there. Not too many people win at Norwin.
No.
Period. And for them to feel that way, I just thought, this is special. Yeah. This is a special group.
And they've proven this is a special group, from taking the knocks early on as 9th graders, as 10th graders, and to take that first big step last year as juniors, and now as seniors, to be rewarded for all their hard work, dedication. It's an awesome story, and this is one of the beautiful things about high school sports. We'll see what happens with the Big Macs in the PIAA state playoffs. Hold that medal up high and proud, my friend. Hold that up. Yes, sir.
51 years. I slept with it.
Is that your first, as any level, as any coach, is that your first championship?
When I coached in the grade school level at St. Thomas More, we won like 3 in a row in the diocesan championships. So I have some gold medals, but nothing like this, right? Yeah. When you're looking up in the stands and you're seeing the community, and I had so many friends there and family, and it was just a great moment.
No matter what happens in the future, that is a moment that Saturday evening will always be etched into your mind. John, we appreciate your time. Congratulations. The job's not done, but at least one gold medal. We'll see if it leads to another one. Congratulations to you and the girls.
And thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, no problem. Well deserved. The Canon-McMillan Big Macs, John Fontana, their head coach, kind enough to join us. A historic title run, the first ever for the Canon-McMillan Girls Basketball Team. We thank Coach Fontana for joining us. We also thank our friends at Edgar Snyder and Associates and our producer, Chris Lackner. I'm Don Rebel. Road to Hershey coming up here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.